This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to the Clear Lines training session. I am your host, Kipp Cohen. It is Tuesday, May 14th, 2019. I'm here for the next 60 minutes to review the Clear Lines indicator running on the Medved Trader platform. This training session is geared towards both the current subscribers to the Clear Lines indicator and for those that are interested in learning more about Clear Lines. This session is recorded. It is twice weekly, every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 o'clock Eastern. You can use the same link to get back each session, to join each session. To view our recorded sessions, you can go to equity-alerts.com. At the top of the page, click where it says YouTube, and I post these to our Equity Alerts YouTube page. If you have questions, you can send them to me through the GoToMeeting player. You can also email me if you have questions outside of this session, or text me at 972-841-8886. This is a user-driven session, so your questions are greatly appreciated. And I want to welcome you for being here today. Thank you for joining us. So let me just give you guys a quick review of who I am and what this is all about. Again, my name is Kipp Cohen. I was with WiseTrade for 17 years in many capacities. My last capacities was a market strategist under Ally Invest. And last year, Ally Invest made the decision to close down WiseTrade. So I worked diligently to create these clear lines based as close as I could get to the WiseTrade red and green lines, buying and selling momentum lines. I worked with a developer who's a partner in my Clear Trading Systems to help create them. And we needed basically a vehicle to place them on. And we partnered with Medved Trader, which was a independent trading platform that was integrated already with a lot of our available to Ally customers, which a lot of our users have accounts with Ally Invest. And it's been a good relationship with Medved. Their platform allows us to do a lot more things that we could never do with WiseTrade and probably could not have done if I had developed this separately on my own. Originally, my plan was to develop a standalone application to run the clear lines on, but after working with Medved and lots of in-depth discussions with my developer, we came to the realization that just running it on Medved is our best option. The clear lines at some point in the future may be available on some other platforms. We're going to look at Ninja Trader at some point in the future, and maybe also on TradeStation. But for now, we like Medved. We like the platform. We like the responsiveness that the Medved guys have to our needs, and so that's the vehicle that transports us, so to speak. What you are currently looking at is one of my pre-built layouts that if you are a first-time user for the clear lines, when you load up Medved Trader, this is the layout you're going to see. I created this one initially because a lot of the WiseTrade community liked having 8 time frames to look at: long-term monthly, midterm weekly, short-term daily, and then these are what are considered the swing position lights: 130, 60-minute, 30-minute, 10, and 2. And you can see by the designation on the charts: 1 month, 1 week, 1 day, 130, 60, 30, 10, and 2. You can change out any of the time frames, make them whatever you want. There is one caveat with Medved. There are 2 different types of charts. One is called an intraday chart, which would be any of the minute time frames. And then there is a historical chart, which would be your daily, weekly, monthly, and they even offer quarterly and yearly if you want to look at charts on a yearly basis. Or you can create custom frequencies on a longer term historical basis. The minute charts, you can put pretty much any minute time frame you want. There are preset 1, 3, 5, 10, 15, 30, and 60, and then the custom frequency, which allows you to put even less than a minute. If you want a half minute, you can put 0.5. If you want a quarter minute, you can put 0.25. If you want to go less than that, you could do 0.1, 1/6 of a minute. For you real hyperactive traders. The other great thing is that you can make the charts as basic as you want, where you just strictly use clear lines and maybe volume or something else, or you can add in other indicators. Again, this was something that was not available on WiseTrade. You could not commingle other indicators with WiseTrade. If I want to see a candlestick, I can click Hide Primary Chart to show the candles behind the charts. They're not always going to obviously line up with the clear lines, because the clear lines are not technically a price chart. They are buying and selling momentum based charts that use price data. The other addition that you'll see on my charts that were not on the WiseTrade charts, you'll notice some arrows, up and down arrows. Those are helpful. They are what I call the confirmation arrow. And we have found, especially trading actively, that a 1 and 3 minute confirmation is a pretty solid signal if you're trading intraday. Medved is a modular based system, so all the windows are adjustable. You can move them around, resize them. You'll see, you'll notice here there's 8 charts plus. There is a index window. That panel is movable. I can move it wherever I want. It's just strictly there to view the indexes, plus it's where I access other layouts for loading layouts or going to settings to make adjustments. And then there is what is called a portfolio or watch list window, and this is customizable. You can add and remove stocks to the list. by clicking Edit Portfolios and then just typing symbols in to add them to your list. You can create different watch list or portfolios depending on what you're looking for. This is considered portfolio format. In the portfolio format, you can also put in existing positions that you're already in that maybe are not, if you're not using an integrated broker and you want to see those positions, you can manually add those in under a portfolio. You can actually also add, you can view Bitcoin prices on the charts as well as futures, as long as you get data for that, and Forex. To get Forex, you have to have quotes from a third party. I use the Interactive Brokers demo account to get my Forex quotes. So there's no charge for that data. You do have to open up their platform to access it. It has to run in behind the scenes. My quotes come from TD Ameritrade. I use TD because they give me access to futures and all the indexes, which some brokers do not give you access to, or they charge you an additional fee. But once you open up the Interactive Brokers, then I can go to my Forex quotes layout, my Forex layout. I can select a currency pair, and then I do have to backfill the data. That's the one step I have to take. There's a button called backfill, and then I have to select Interactive Brokers as the data source for that quote, and then it'll fill in all of my charts. So now I have, as you can see, the euro dollar. So that's a great thing about this software, is it's one application that you can view anything. Again, with WiseTrade, you had stocks, originally a stocks and options, a Forex, and a futures program. And then we created the one blended program. But this is one program that allows you to access anything. It's just dependent upon a different, where you get the data. If you have permissions from your broker, or if you're getting data from a third party. So, again, real clean, easy to read charts. You can trade directly from the charts as well. If I wanted to trade Forex, I can trade it through Interactive Brokers. I can demo trade through their account. I just have to go to trading, and then I select Interactive Brokers, and then I can make, let's say I wanted to, this is strictly for demonstration purposes, but if I wanted to make a trade on the euro dollar long here, maybe I'm looking at it saying, oh, look, we've got a bottom down here, and I want to go long. So I can pick, I want to do a 10,000 position, which is a mini lot. I can click, and if I want to do a market, click market, buy, stage the order initially, and then once I'm ready to hit it, hit the send button, and then it fills the order through the trade Interactive Brokers workstation, and then it will appear. It will appear on my screen. You can see filled 10,000 at 1.12, and then I do have to go in and show the position. Let's see, settings. Oops. There we go. So now I can see the position on my chart. It shows me my P&L. And then I can also set my stops on the chart by just selecting stop and then sell. And I pick wherever I want that stop to be. It's going to tell me how much. As I scroll my my stop capsule up and down, you can see the actual loss amount or gain amount depending on where you set it. So let's say we put $20 right here. So if it comes down to 1.11895, I'll lose $20. Obviously, it wants me to do a bigger position. So let's do this. Let's add to it to make sure we're, oops. Let's make that a 20K position to meet their minimum. So now we have a 20K position, and then I can adjust the order here. I can adjust the size by just, I can scroll up with my mouse, or I can type in the box, change that to 20,000, click check, and then select modify. So now I have a, now if I get stopped out, I lose $40. So with the platform, you can chart trade, you can demo trade Forex using interactive brokers. If you're interested in utilizing Bitcoins, you can also load Bitcoins on. I can show you how to do that as well. And then if I decide I want to bail on the position, all I have to do is hit this flatten button and it'll immediately exit the trade. For the emergency, when you got to just get out, you can utilize that flatten button and it'll cancel any open order. So let's click that.
Order cancelled.
So it's sold it, canceled the stop, and then filled the trade. So these are some great benefits to utilizing the Medved platform with the clear lines. So let's go to real quick for anybody that follows Bitcoin. I've got Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. You just click on it, and then you also have to backfill. Same thing like we did with futures, with Forex, and then you want to backfill with Coinbase is the choice. Coinbase, they have a connection already to Medved. You don't have to have an account with them. There we go. So there are the charts loaded up for Coinbase, and we see a Bitcoin. You cannot, though, demo trade, I don't think. You may have to set up an account with one of the you probably have to set up an account with one of the brokers to be able to utilize paper trading with Bitcoin. But this does allow you to view the charts. Obviously, here's our monthly chart, our weekly, our daily, 130 that recently rolled over, 60-minute that rolled. That would have been a good short. That was actually a really nice short. It had a double top short on Bitcoin. And then if I want to go back to looking at stocks, I just pick one of my watch list. If I have a NASDAQ 100 list. I can look at the NASDAQ 100 stocks, scrolling through. Oh, I guess that one's not on the list anymore. Probably need to update my NASDAQ 100 list, but you can just click any of the symbols in the watch list and they'll load right up onto the charts. For me, I don't really feel like I have to watch 8 time frames at once. So so in the mornings, I start out when I'm pre-market reviewing charts. I use what's called my 2-chart layout just because it's bigger and more clear for people to see. And then on the right window, I can look at the monthly, the weekly, and the daily chart, and then I can look intraday here. I always have a 3-minute to look at, and it starts from the market open. So I can see, like, here's ATVI, pretty much been running up all day. Sorry, guys, the bat phone's ringing in the background. And then once the day gets going, I switch my layout to my popper dropper layout, which has allows me to watch 2 stocks simultaneously. I start my day out at a half minute right at the open for the first probably 15 or 20 minutes, and then I switch to a 1 minute. And then I have my 3-minute chart, and then you don't see it. It's off to the, in my other screen, there is a 5-minute that I flip back and forth between 5 and 15 for drawing my Fibonacci. But I can also do that with 2 charts. I don't necessarily need that 3rd chart. I can flip between any of the time frames on this window. So if I want to draw the, let's say the first 15-minute Fibonacci levels, I can just go to a 15-minute here, draw the fib, and then go back to my 3-minute and see the extension on the from the first 15-minute time frame. The Medved platform is very customizable, as I was talking about. There are a number of different technical indicators that you can utilize with the software, and I'm not going to read them all off to you, but there's a bunch. There are what's considered main chart indicators, and then there's what's considered separate chart indicators that would typically fall on a chart below, underneath your main chart. The cool thing though is if you want to move these onto your main chart, you can actually set them. They don't have to go below. They can be on the main chart. But as you can see, there's probably 50 or 60 at least on the list here, maybe more. It's probably closer to there's probably about 100 plus indicators here. Probably, I've never counted them. I'm guessing more like 100. And then you can double click on the indicators, and there are settings that you can adjust depending on what you want to utilize. They all, if you want to adjust any of the numbers, you can change those. Again, just dependent upon how you want to view them. There are different, for the charts, you can change the color backgrounds. Again, depending on what is best for you visually, what might be best for you may not be something I like, and what something I like you may not like. But there are preset, and each chart stands on its own. So you can create color sets for different charts. And again, you can move these windows around however you see fit. If you have a multi-screen monitor, then you can obviously load 10 or 20 charts, depending on your resolution and how much screen space you want to utilize. The Medved platform has some other tools associated with it. There is a scanning tool that you can utilize. Oops, hold on. There are some pre-built scans when price crosses a daily pivot or unusual volume. You can run these different scans on your portfolio list. The software gives you the ability to create alerts. The easiest one is just what's called a line alert or alert line. So you can draw a line if you're waiting for something to cross a certain price level. You can draw a line on the chart and then click and edit that alert to give you it's going to do a pop-up. But if you want to play a sound, you can set it to play a sound when the alert is met. You can create there's a handful of different alerts based on different activities. And then a lot of different settings that you can set for the software as far as appearance settings. I haven't really messed with this one. That's kind of cool. Appearance settings and time zone. There's keyboard shortcuts, all kinds of keyboard shortcuts, and you can customize those. I don't use keyboard shortcuts, but for anybody that does, it automatically will back up your layouts. You have different accounts for data sources that you can get quotes from. You can also get news. You can see I get news from 3 sources: Ally Invest, TD Ameritrade, and Yahoo Finance. Some of the news sources are paid. I believe The Fly is a paid-based. Stockwatch is paid-based. And then there's lots of different chart layouts as well. Hey, Gorge, good to hear from you, buddy. Good to see you. General chart layout, chart display settings, color sets. You can build custom color sets. Times for the market time. There's a clock on the, tells you when the market closes, current time of the day. Spike filtering, that's sometimes you get false spikes during the day. You can extend Fibonacci values further than what is preset if you have extended values like I have. And then you can set up different brokerage accounts. So the software will allow you to access pretty much any of their integrated brokers, which here's the full list. Ally Invest. There's several cryptocurrency brokers. There's an Italian broker, Directa, E-Trade, Gain Capital Futures, Interactive Brokers, Optimus Futures, which is Rhythmic, Quest Trade for Canada, Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, and Tradier. They do not integrate with, unfortunately, with Schwab or with Fidelity. Those are the 2 main U.S. brokers that are not integrated, or with Wells Fargo. And then there are some security settings and some additional trade settings. So again, it is a very robust, powerful platform. There are help files for those that are first. If you have, questions about specific buttons and how to do using Medved, they've built out some really good help files. And it's pretty thorough. And of course, I'm here to answer questions as well. If there's something that I can help you with, I obviously will. So that's kind of an overview, kind of the main overview of the software I wanted to cover today. Are there any specific questions at this point that I could answer for anybody about clear lines, about Medved, about equity alerts, if you want to ask about that, which just to also clarify, I have two different companies, equity-alerts.com. My partners are Jim Chanel and Lindsay Perry, aka the Matacat Kid. They were both former WiseTrade customers, and so we're partners in equity alerts. And then I have Clear Trading Systems. That is my company that owns the Clear Lines indicator. And I have two partners in that business. I have a software developer that used to work for WiseTrade, and I have a trader / developer of indicators as a partner, and we are working on some other trading indicators, some proprietary, some eventually for availability. So the two companies kind of commingle, crossover, because Clearlines is marketed through equity-alerts.com. That's where you subscribe to it. And we do offer a combined package of alerts and Clearlines together, or you could subscribe to either one separately or do a combination package. We do discount the combination package. Clearlines by themselves are $59 a month plus. If you don't have an Ally Invest account, there could be an additional fee. Well, there's an additional fee of $19.99 a month for Medved Trader, and then if you don't have one of the integrated brokers, you may also face a data feed cost. And then the equity-alerts is $99 a month, and then if you do a combination of Clearlines and alerts, it's $129 a month, basically a $30 discount. And if you want more information on that, you can go to equity-alerts.com. Just click on the Clearlines tab, and you will see the information here, screenshots, and then pricing information, and then where to sign up if you want Clearlines only or a combination. You can always email me, Kipp@equity-alerts.com, also if you have specific questions, or you can call me on my cell phone, 972-841-8886. Is there anything I can show you, a stock you'd like to look at, or any questions? Interestingly, this ATVI, I just want to point out. So, last session, I was talking about some of my indicators that I'm using now. I use a 3-minute with Bollinger Bands. You'll notice that ATVI basically reversed off the top band, but more importantly, if you go to the 1 minute, you'll notice on the 1 minute time frame, which uses current day data, it reversed right off of the Fibonacci pivots. This green line right here is a Fibonacci retracement, Fibonacci pivot point. That was Fibonacci R2. And that was a triple top on the 1 minute. You actually had a down arrow on the 1 minute, along with a down arrow on the 3 minute right here. That actually was a pretty good point to get short on ATVI. And it is rolling over. Can you do AMD? You would like to view AMD? Yeah, for Scott. Also, to view any stock, you just click your mouse on any chart and then start typing. When you type on your keyboard, it'll automatically load the symbol. All right, so let's do AMD. Go to the first 15-minute. I'll draw the fib level so we can get the extension from the first 15-minute level. And then we'll go back to the 3. I'll expand the chart so you can see that more clearly. Interestingly, guess where? I'm telling you, this stuff is beautiful. What the indicators that I'm using now are like just so nice. So you had, I'm going to show you this. You had a top right here, which is the top of the band, the 3618 and Fibonacci retrace to FR2, Fibonacci R2, excuse me, Fibonacci resistance 2. It's always confusing. So we had our first reversal, got a little bit of a bounce up right here off of the 300. And then we went back into the middle Bollinger. And then here we are, we've rolled over and we're back at the 300. And that is pretty clear on the clear lines also. I mean, you could see that nice little rollover. And if we go to the 1 minute, that probably will also, yeah, you had a 1 minute reversal as well. Oops, I'm sorry. Yeah, 1 minute right here on AMD. Actually, you would go, oh, that's a half minute. Sorry, let me go to the 1 minute. I'm not usually running. Here's the top. Here was the top on the 1 minute. And look at that right there. There's your arrow. You got a down arrow right here. And parabolic stop and reverse just after the arrow switched directions. So you even had a confirmation of that. So you went through, back through the fib. This would have been a great spot to short right around 2740, 2744, somewhere in there. Bounced up a little bit and has rolled back down. Not a huge move, but 20-cent move. Pretty clear for you, Scott? If you want to see the bigger trends, all you have to do is right click on the chart and go to historical charts. And then you can scroll through and look at the monthly of AMD, the weekly, and the daily chart. And that's one of the nice things about the platform. Oh, Gorch, I'm sorry. It's showing your name as Scott, but yeah, I'm sorry, Gorch. I didn't realize, because I have 2 Scotts and 2 that say Scott, but I don't know why your name. Anyway, yeah, sorry, Gorch. From any chart, you can right click. You can trade from here as well. You can add your indicators from that right click window. You can view historical charts. You can trade. If you want to view level 2 quotes, you can open a level 2 quote window if your broker gives you access to level 2 quotes. There's also depth of market, DOM. You can view the DOM which also allows you to trade if I wanted to trade right here. There's also a depth chart. I've never really used a depth chart, but there's a depth chart. And option chains. If you want to trade options, you can do that from right here. Puts and calls, you can filter. If your broker allows you to trade, you can trade. Right click and then trade options from here. If you want news on a specific stock, right click and then go to news for AMD. So a lot of different things you can do. And here's all the news stories for AMD. If you want to print a chart or share a chart, you can do that as well. If I want to email it or text it, you can, or tweet it, you can do that. A lot of different things you can do. It's pretty cool. Dennis says, what's the difference between STP and setting a limit above or below your entry? So these are just the order types. This is broker specific, and I can select, if I right click, I can choose the type of orders I want to use. Different brokers allow different orders. So market, limit, stop, trailing stop, dollar, and a bracket. And then this is also conditional type orders. Bracket on OCA, one cancels another. So it's just, there are different order types, that's all. If I want to limit in, let's say I want to put a limit to buy ATVI, let's say below the current price, I can set my limit there. And then if it comes down, it'll pick it up. If I want to set a market order, I can switch it, cancel this order and go to market. I don't think I can't change the order right here, but I could cancel this order and then switch it to a market order if I wanted to get in right away. And then STP is just going to be my stop. So here again, just this is only for example purposes, but let's say I wanted to buy ATVI down here. So then I put in my entry market, and then I can click stop, and then I can click sell and set a stop just below here, and then confirm the order. Now I have a stop loss. It'll tell me how much I'll lose if I get stopped. And then I can move this line, or I can move the capsule up and down to adjust the stop. If I want to move it lower or move it back up, and then click the M to modify it. So you can real quickly change orders and modify orders. And again, if I'm like, oh gosh, I made a mistake, I need to get out, I can click the flatten button. Or another feature is the reverse. If I want to reverse the trade and go the other way, if I decide, let's say I'm in and I've met my target and I want to turn around and go the opposite direction, then I can just reverse the trade. So it's just different order types. And then of course there's the get me out now. Quick exit. Typically what I do is on my 1 minute window, I set market orders, and then I click over here for brackets. So I have it preset. So this is my entry window and this is my exit window. Left enter, right exit. That's just a personal preference for me. I find it easier to maneuver. It saves me the step of having to switch right here from between market and stop. I already have my order set to bracket on this side. Or if I wanted to, I could just set a stop. And so I could let's say I wanted to buy 500 shares. Oops, hold on. Let's say I wanted to buy 500 shares of ATVI, okay? And I'm just going to do what's called staging the order right now. So I just click it once, it stages the capsule. It doesn't get sent until I click the check box, but I could come over here into this window and also simultaneously set a stop or stage my stop, okay? So then I could set the stop here, and then all I would have to do is click the checkbox here. Once the order's in, then I can click the checkbox here, and I immediately have a stop set right behind it. So it allows me to real fast get in and get a stop if I need to. You can stage your orders. And if you're waiting, you're not ready to get in yet, but you want to, kind of have orders sitting, you can stage it like I have right now. And then whenever I get the signal to buy, then I just click on the checkbox and it'll send the order. This is a really great way to manage your trades, because you can quickly maneuver, get in, get out, adjust stops real fast, much quicker than if you went on a web page and had to do a change in price and confirm and all. All right, so here I'll show you. We'll click the checkbox, order fills, stop loss. Hold on. Why would it not let me do that? Oh, because do I have another pending order? Oh, because I have it right here. Hold on. There we go. I thought I could stage it. Maybe it won't let me stage it until after the fact. Should have let me do it. I don't know why it didn't. But as you can see how quick you can get your orders in very, very fast. And you'll see right here on the capsule, it tells me what my P&L is. I'm up now $20, and it tells me here if I get stopped out at 69, I'm going to lose $45. Or if I wanted to switch this to a bracket order, I could switch it to a bracket, cancel that order, go to bracket, hit the sell button. When I set my bracket, you see you may not be able to see real clearly, but the stop price moves up and down. So as I set my stop, let's say I go to break even because I'm already at $50. And then as I scroll up, the gain, which is kind of hard to see, but you can, right here, it says gain 130. So right now, if I get stopped out, I'm going to get stopped out flat. If it hits my target, I'm going to make 130 bucks. And then as it starts moving into profit, I can trail it manually by moving my stop up on the bottom side of the bracket. So what you can do, again, it depends upon your broker, but you can manually trail that trade with a bracket order. And as you're moving up into profit, you can, if you want to, you can expand or extend out your you can extend the limit. If it starts getting up closer to your limit and you're like, well, I think it can go further, then you can push your limit up and then just click the M to modify the order. And then continue to modify and move your stop up. If I want to move my stop up another penny, now I'm going to make $30. I love the fact that I can visually know what I'm going to make if I get stopped out. That was something that the Medved guys added a few months back that I thought was just awesome. It's great for, especially on the bracket orders, for figuring out your risk to rewards. You see real quick, I'm risking 50 bucks to make 100, or I'm risking, that's a 1 to 2 risk reward. Real fast, and you see that. Oh, and we got stopped out. In profit, thankfully, a small little profit. But most platforms, you're going through and you're entering an order online and then it's changing the price, and it's just a slower process. All right, what other questions can I ask? We've only got about 10 minutes to go. Anything else I can answer for you guys? Any specific questions about Medved, about clear lines, anything? Any charts you want to look at? Again, this session is for you guys, so anything I can do to help, let me know. Looks like markets came down a little bit off the top. Mary says, "What? How about Apple?" Sure. So Apple, let's go to the historical charts first, so you can see what's going on there. So there's the daily. Apple reversed. Back early May. So Apple big uptrend, and then we had a rollover. Here's our weekly, also recently rolled over, and the monthly chart. Even though still pointing up, just now going to red. So we've seen a reversal on Apple, and then intraday. Looks like Apple's been very range bound most of the afternoon. It had a good run up this morning, and then has been very range bound most of the afternoon. If you trade futures, for any of you that trade futures, you can also track futures using clear lines. If you like to trade crude oil. So here's let me blow up the 3-minute chart. Here's a 3-minute on crude. I can show back further in time as well if you want to view 200 bars or 50 bars. Again, depends on what you want to see. I can scroll back in time, so I can look back prior days. Actually, crude was pretty choppy today, but whatever if you trade gold, actually gold today had some pretty good moves. Sell off in the morning, run up in the mid-morning. And for those that trade S&P futures, you can track that also. So a pretty good run up this morning on S&P futures. And look at that, kind of topped out at Fibonacci resistance 2. It was a double top up here on the 3-minute and a nice reversal. So a lot of different things you can do, a lot of different things you can see and trade. Just dependent upon what you're looking at and what you trade. All right, and again, this session is recorded. It will be posted up to the Equity Alerts Yahoo page, and if you have specific questions after this broadcast, you're welcome to email me, kip@equity-alerts.com. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today, and appreciate y'all being here. I'm going to stick around for a couple minutes if there are any further questions. Anything else I can answer? Okay, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back on Thursday, same time, 3 o'clock Eastern. You're welcome to join me. Have a great trading day. Some of you guys, I'll see you tomorrow morning at equity-alerts.com. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great afternoon, guys. Bye-bye.